let's face it, nobody likes a season pusher, myself included, and I can find myself very quickly being put into the category of a season pusher, particularly in winter. And while I very much enjoy winter and the fall for hunting purposes, I definitely miss working in my garden, working on the farm. Uh, However, I posted a post recently about how the days are getting longer now, even though it's the middle of winter, or not even, just kind of early winter. Still got quite a bit to go. And somebody made a comment saying, kind of like in a slightly rude way, but the sentiment behind it was actually a really good point. They were like, "You got it totally wrong. Stop being a season pusher. The winter's about slow days and cozying up against the fire and spending time with family and spending time indoors." And it got me thinking. That person had a really solid point. I think that, myself included, if we're frustrated with winter and we're pushing towards spring, then we have the wrong mentality and perspective about winter in general. And I want to talk about that in a couple just brief points on how we can enjoy winter as it's intended to be, particularly in these zones where it actually does get very cold. For example, certain zones like Florida and stuff like that, California, 70 degrees year round in certain areas. It doesn't really matter. But here in New York, at least where I am, in other parts of the country as well, we have definitely cold snaps where we can't grow anything. We can't really go outside as much, or unless you're doing outdoor sports and stuff in the winter, like snowing and stuff, obviously skiing and stuff like that in the snow. But I want to rebrand winter, and like if you look historically, winter used to be a time, like I said, of slowing down, of all the work that you've done throughout the year on the farm, in the garden, and enjoying the results of that, planning for the next year, and thinking about the following year, and thinking about what's to come, and what you did wrong and what you could do better. And that's my goal for this winter is embrace the slow season, embrace the time inside with my family, embrace the time to pick up a new hobby, or pick up something that you used to do that you don't have time for in the summer when things get crazy. You know, we live in such a fast-paced world, and I'm trying very hard to slow down and make the most out of this life we have. But I think that it's so hard to when we're so consumed by constantly going and going and going. So things that we could be doing is, like I said, spending time with our family, spending time indoors, enjoying the fact that we're inside, prepping for the following year, thinking back, looking back on what we did, what we could be doing differently. Again, trying something different. Like for me, for example, I love hunting, so I hunt a lot in the winter time. And then just even expanding your garden. So for example, what can you do outside, even though you can't be planting things? What can you be doing either inside or outside to expand your garden? Can you start digging up, if the ground isn't totally frozen, start digging up a new area, start purchasing things online, start putting cardboard, like I did, start putting cardboard down outside, and that starts prepping the soil. Can you, start creating new contacts, meeting new friends, and learning from them online. And honestly, one of the biggest things I think we could be utilizing the winter for is learning new things about how to garden better, learning new things about how to be more productive, or how to prep better, how to, enjoying the fruits of our labor. Biggest thing is, like, you spent so long and hopefully you preserved a lot of the stuff you worked on. So how can you preserve that? How can you enjoy what you preserved? And how can you make the most out of the things you spent so hard working on? So that's my perspective. I think that we're thinking of winter, at least myself, I've been thinking about winter all wrong. And I just need to enjoy this time rather than fighting against, take the time to light a fire inside, take the time to watch a movie with the family. The channel is called Modern Primitive because I'm not just saying we have to go back to all these ancient things or historical things or traditional things. It's like, how can we bring those traditional things and historical ideas and lifestyles into this modern day? And that's the concept. So yeah, you don't have to necessarily knit something by candlelight, but like, hey, maybe you can, watch a movie with the family, slowing down, embracing things, reading a book, or do the tasks that you don't have the time to. For example, myself, I started making my own soap. I couldn't do that in the summer because I didn't have the time to. I started, started working on, I took things out of the freezer and started like dehydrating them. For example, like I just didn't have time to dehydrate all these things over the summer, like all my herbs and stuff. And I took this time to take them out. You can still dehydrate them. It works great. I didn't have time to can over the summer. I didn't have time to can tomatoes. So what do? I freeze them all at once and I start canning them and making sauce over the winter. Take the time, shift your perspective. It's the way God intended things to be. We might as well embrace the seasons rather than fighting against them.